Welcome to Highlight Harrison. It's part of the Harrison Chamber of Commerce organization, and we go around town and interview different businesses to see what they're doing in Harrison these days and how they're succeeding and how they're contributing to the Harrison community, certainly the business aspects of what we do. And this edition, we're going to be interviewing Ashley and Madeline at Liberty Tax, and we're going to be talking about what they do for the community of Harrison and for the citizens of Harrison and getting their tax prepared. Madeline, if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you.
Sure.
Give us a little rundown of who Liberty Tax is, maybe a sketch, a bit of the history, and including this office itself. How long has it been here as well? I'll hand it over to you.
Sure. So Liberty Tax, the actual company itself has been around since the late 90s, and each office is its own franchise. Linda and Chris Gepper of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, they own this particular franchise in Harrison. It's been here, we've been here for, I'm going to say about 18 years, give or take a year. But they also own two other franchises, one in Lawrenceburg and one in Aurora. People might recognize the name Gepper. Their son is a silver and bronze medalist with the Olympics, and I believe he's going to be involved in the Winter Olympics in another 2 years when they come back. So that's very exciting for them and for us too, if we keep track of that. The store itself has not always been here in this particular shopping center. We're here at the Big Lots, Harbor Freight Shopping Center, but we've been here for about 10 years. We started downtown Harrison, catty-cornered from the bakery, the Harrison Bakery. We started down there, and we were there for probably about 8 or 10 years, and then we moved up this way. So this store has been here for maybe 10 years as well, but a total of about 18 years, I think. And I'm the manager of this particular store in Harrison. I've been with the company in this store this will be my 16th tax season. So a very long time.
Oh my goodness. So Ashley, obviously it's just the two of you because things are kind of quiet right now regarding getting taxes done. That's going to change in about 9 or 10 weeks from now. I don't have time to do the exact math. How do you find folks to come in and prepare the taxes? Well, first question, I suppose, how many people will you need to bring in after the first of the year? And second question, how do you find those people that you need to be here?
Sure. So it kind of depends on who ends up returning from previous years of how many we will need. But we hold a tax prep school every year. And people who are just interested in getting more knowledge attend that. And then ones who are interested in employment can come to that as well. So we choose from those that pool of people. So it really just depends.
From a total number, though, how many will you need to bring in after the first of the year to help prepare taxes? How many?
About
total?
10 people.
10 more people.
About 10 people each
you two
year.
And 10 others,
Yeah.
and you'll be able to get help the people in Harrison get their taxes prepared. And when it's a very seasonal business that you're doing, what happens after April 15th in this office from April 15th to I'm sure you guys get busy about right now, staffing up. So I'll just say from April to October, what happens in this office?
Do you want to take this one or?
Yeah, I can take this one. So we do stay open, all year, a couple days a week in the off season. But, if somebody gets a letter from the IRS, that can be kind of scary for some people. So, they can bring that in. And we can help answer questions about where their return might be from the prior year, lead them in the right direction. If you do an extension, we're finishing those up, amendments, things like that. But we're also we're helping prepare people for the next tax season. Maybe they had something in their lives happen that requires them to have a little bit of planning done to make sure that goes smoothly, for the next tax year. So, we're here and, we gain a lot of new customers that way too by being open all year.
I want to clear up one thing. So you clearly do federal taxes.
Yes.
Obviously, you do state of Ohio taxes,
Yes.
but you do other states as well. I just want to make
Oh,
sure
yes.
we're thoroughly
Absolutely.
clear. So,
Yeah.
because a lot of your clients might be coming here from Indiana.
Right.
You live up in actually, both of you live over
Yeah.
in Indiana.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm glad
but
you brought
and for that
up.
matter, Kentucky, you very well may have a
Yeah.
client or two that might be
Sure.
residents of Kentucky. So
Sure.
the state that they're in doesn't matter. You
State that they're in doesn't matter at all. We are ready for anyone from any of the 50 states of the United States. Now, obviously, we haven't seen them all yet, but I've seen probably maybe 15 or 20 different states in the time that I've been here. So that's quite a bit. But we have mostly people from Ohio, and I'd say about 70%. From Ohio, we get almost 30% from Indiana, so that's pretty high. And then we also have some folks from Kentucky too,
I'm
or
sure
who work in Kentucky, and we still have to do a non-resident Kentucky return. So yeah, we handle them all. Federal individual income taxes, business income taxes. So we're talking about partnerships. We're talking about S corporations, C corps. We do some estates and trust as well. So we kind of do it all. Yeah.
that is it. It certainly I find it very incredible that you're able to keep up with the changes in tax law. It's every year there seems to be Congress or whoever seems to come up with a whole list of things that have to be done differently. I always chuckle the couple of years that I would hear the Congress passing tax simplification laws that don't seem to simplify anything. How do you keep up with from one year to the next, keep up with all the changes in the tax laws that come up?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we do a lot of continuing education for our returning preparers. So since August, we host different training opportunities. So our returning preparers come in once or twice a month, sit down. We go through things that are a little bit more complicated to, so they can remember, because they're not always working year round like me and Ashley are. So they do a lot of continuing education as well as me and Ashley. We get certified through the IRS. They have a certification program, which we have to go through. And so we also do that. We just on our own keep up with the tax laws. During COVID, there was a lot of changes, right? I mean, tons of changes. So that was a very tough few years to go through. But now that things have died down a little bit, it makes it a little easier. Some years are worse than others. COVID years were very bad as far as tax changes and tax laws changing. Some years are a little bit easier. This year, there is one big change that I think people should really know about, and that has to do with P2P applications or third-party applications. We're talking things like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, PayPal, Venmo, all of those types of applications. The law is not different, but it's changed. So they were always required to send the taxpayer a tax form if the taxpayer sold things through these applications. And the threshold at that time was $20,000. Now, this year, starting in 2023 tax season, the threshold has been lowered to $600. So say Joe here sold a couple of his garage sale items on PayPal, and they totaled over $600. Joe's going to get a 1099-K form from PayPal. And he may not know what that is. This is his first time getting it. So thousands of people out there who've never gotten these tax forms before, but have sold or used those applications for their business to collect their income. It could be something personal. It could be business related. It doesn't matter. When they get these tax forms, it's really important for those taxpayers to know where it goes on their tax return. They have to report it. They can't just ignore it. And also not just how to report it and where to report it, but some of it might be taxable and some of it might not. So they have to determine those types of things. And we can definitely help with that. We're prepared. We know the law now. We've been through many seminars about it. And people can come in even now before tax season, kind of get a heads up on what to expect if they like to come and see us.
Ashley, describe the benefits of having Liberty Tax do your taxes as compared to just an individual doing them by themselves?
Well, I mean, we talk about the continuing education. That's going to be a big one because we're going to have the ins and outs of all the updated information for every single year, and then, not just federal, but I mean, different parts of Harrison, they have local school taxes that not even the residents of Harrison know that they have to pay. So, we are really going to be the experts in the area and going to kind of keep them out of any penalties or any owing it extra money, keep them out of trouble.
Obviously, it's money well spent to keep yourself out of trouble, and you're likely going to find a deduction or two that they did not know they had available to them.
Yeah,
So,
tax software it has its use, which is great, and there's sometimes there's free software out there which also has its use. But coming to a tax preparer, we're compelled to getting the best deductions and the most deductions and credits for our clients. I mean, that's our goal. We kind of look at tax preparation not just as a function of our job responsibilities, but we want to make sure, because it's a stressful time, that we also, one of the benefits is to try to ease the mind of our taxpayers.
that's awesome.
So when they come in, we have snacks, we have drinks, we have a kids area that the kids can come in, the family can come in. We like seeing people every year. Somebody is expecting a newborn. The following year they have this new dependent. That's always fun. I always tell them, they should name it after me, but they don't always listen. But we try to make it as less stressful than it really is if you're sitting at home in front of the computer trying to do it yourself.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about business returns. So we've been talking a fair amount about individual returns. You guys, Madeline, you also do business returns. And how can small businesses in the Harrison area benefit from having Liberty Tax do their tax returns, again, as compared to doing them themselves?
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things that sometimes small businesses forget about, or even large businesses, but we do mostly small businesses here, is there's always the retirement benefits that people forget about when they have a small business. Everyone knows about the 401k. When you're working for your employer, you can contribute to a 401k. You could also create, you can contribute to an IRA, a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA, and deduct that on your taxes. Most people kind of know that. But I think what some small businesses forget is that if they're a small business, they have an opportunity to contribute more to their retirement. They can open up a SEP, which is a simplified employee pension plan, or something called a simple IRA, or a solo 401k, where they're the ones responsible for that 401k plan. So these are ways where they can add more money into their retirement besides the normal $6,000 a year that they may put away under a traditional IRA. Plus, small businesses under certain rules can write off their health insurance premiums. And that's pretty high. And I think sometimes people forget when they're a small business that they can actually write those off without itemizing, because usually you have to itemize to do that type of thing. But for a small business, you can write that off right off the top for yourself, your spouse, and any of your dependents.
Excellent.
So those are key things.
So we're going to start wrapping this up. Ashley, give us 1 minute of anything I forgot to ask about Liberty Tax, how it impacts, what's going on here in Harrison. And I'm going to, after Ashley's done, I'm going to fire over to you to kind of prepare you, Madeline.
Sure. So, I mean, we're here in the community, but again, we're not just a tax preparation company. I mean, we're doing the tax school. We have some other services that we can offer, such as even small business bookkeeping and things. So, we have lots of opportunities to help those in the area. And I mean, we're passionate about becoming an asset to the community, keeping everybody on top of those tax law changes and things like that. So yeah, we just want to be here to help.
Madeline.
Yeah. So another
Last
key,
word.
another key thing I just wanted to point out to folks who may think about doing their taxes by themselves versus us is that we are a good asset to have in front of the IRS. When they do have problems, she mentioned this before, it's always great to have someone who knows the tax laws and knows the IRS requirements as the go-between between the client and the IRS, speaking their language. So that's always important. We've had a lot of people coming in the summertime, and when they do, they're handing us a letter, from the IRS, from the state, whatever. And most of the time they have no idea what it means or what it says. So we're always there to help, and not just with our clients. We take on anyone who walks in the door with a letter. We'll help them out. A lot of times they become our clients.
Absolutely. If the IRS is knock, I'm here from the government, and I'm here to help. Yeah. Any resources are greatly welcome, I'm sure, in all those cases. Well, listen, I want to thank both of you guys for spending some time with me this morning, explaining to me what Liberty Tax does. Highlight Harrison appreciates it, the Harrison Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, we appreciate them too.
Yeah, thank you.
Till next time.
Thank you.